Good morning, everyone. It's a rainy day here in North Carolina, and I wanted to tell you all a story that happened to me when I was about 10 years old, I think, as best I can remember. My daddy worked construction, and in the summertime, we always went off on a job wherever he was working. So this summer, I met a little girl that was my age, and we played together. And we went up to her house to play a lot, and she came down to my house to play. Well, one evening, I was up at her house playing, and her mama called her for supper. So she went in for supper, and she said, if you want to, I'll ask Daddy if you can come in the house. And I said, okay. So they said it was all right for me to come in the house, but the daddy took me down the hallway in the house and said, you can stay in this room back here until we finish eating. So he took me to a room down a long hall, and he said, you go in here and stay. Well, he put me in that room, and it was dark, and it had a bunch of old furniture. It looked like a pure junk room, and shut the door. Well, I thought that was a little strange, but back then you never heard of kidnappings or any of that stuff going on. So I tried to open the door. I decided I'd just go on home. Well, the door was locked, and I beat and banged on that door, screamed and hollered for them to let me out, to no avail. Now, this is true. This is not a made-up story for YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. This is all true. And so I knew something bad was going to happen, but I had no idea about a kidnapping or anything like that. And to this day, I don't know if I was really kidnapped or if he just locked me up in that room and was going to let me out. But I feel like, and I felt like at the time, he was going to do me harm. So I got to prowling around in the room. Once I got in the room, there was a little bit of light coming in a window. So I climbed over all the furniture and everything and got to the window. And it was all locked up and boarded up on the outside with like shutters. So I thought, gosh, what am I going to do? And I screamed and hollered for him to let me out. Nobody answered me. The mother didn't answer me. The little girl that I was playing with didn't answer me. And I just decided, well, I'm going to have to find a way out of here, or I'm going to be in big trouble. So I kept prowling around in the room, and behind a dresser, I could see a door to the outside porch. Their house had a porch all the way across the front of it. And I thought, well, if I can just manage somehow to move the furniture back, to scoot it back, I might can get out the door. So what I did was just worked and worked and worked as hard as I could to move a big dresser, just scooted enough so I could slide behind it and get to the door. And I didn't know if the door was unlocked or if it was locked. So what I did was I kept working and working as hard as I could to get out of that room. And thank goodness I got the dresser moved enough to where I could slide behind it. And the door was locked from the inside. So I finally got it unlocked. It had one of those big, long keys that went in it that locked it, and it had like a deadbolt. So I finally got the key to unlock it. It was hard to unlock, especially for a little girl my age, but I kept working with it until I got it unlocked, and I ran out the door. Well, I crouched down to where they couldn't see me. I was afraid that they would see me. But I crouched down and I jumped off that porch and I ran home as fast as I could. And I was just so thankful to get home. But I did not tell Mother. She was the only one at home. Daddy hadn't got home from work yet. But I called, I told Mother, I said, I don't want to go play at that little girl's house anymore. And she said, okay. Well, I didn't really think anything about it until I got older. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell my mother. I didn't know anything about kids getting abducted or kidnapped, so I just didn't say anything. Didn't know to say anything. And so I didn't until I got to be an adult. And it's just been a few years back I told my mother about it and told my family about it. But I made it out of that situation. But I don't know what would have happened. It could have been a whole lot worse for me. I just don't know what might have happened. And then I think back and I think, gosh, that man could have been a child abductor. You know, I don't know. And it's scary when I think about it now after I'm grown and older, what could have happened to me. It's just really scary, and sometimes, you know, I've just wanted to tell somebody about it. Maybe it would help them, but be careful who you let your kids play with, because a perfect family looking from the outside might not be a perfect family on the inside. So that was my experience, and I'm not going to say what state it was in because it doesn't matter at this point in time. That's been about 60 years ago. So, but there you have it. So you all have a good day. We love you all. Thank you for all the prayers. And remember, this is a true story. This is not made up, but I just wanted to share it in case anything about it might help somebody else. So you all have a good day. Talk to you later. I'm going to be telling a lot of my childhood stories on here. Y'all have a good day.